Hello everyone, welcome to the United Hapori channel. I'm Bionic, and today we're starting a new series called Bionic Bootleg Reviews, obviously where I'm going to be reviewing bootlegs and knockoff sets, to replace Thatch Mac self-mock overviews that were, the side series before now. So, on my birthday I ordered quite a wide selection of knockoff sets from a specific website. So today, I'm going to be reviewing a Iron Spiderman knockoff figure. Link in the description to where you can purchase this set, this knockoff set, and in the pinned comments. I will say, purchase at your own risk. I have heard word that there could be some scammers on that website. I personally haven't experienced anything like that. Then again, this is my first time using it. And I know my girlfriend has used the site before for other things, and she hasn't really had any complications as far as she said. So, it depends, buy at your own risk. So, let's get straight into the review. So, when I ordered this set, it did not come with its original box. There just wasn't the option for that. But it did come with its instruction booklet, so let's take a look at that. So, on it says The Amazing Spider-Man. Obviously it's unlicensed, but it gives a nice little picture of the figure. It gives a height estimate, which is 24.5 centimeters. You got a nice pose right there. They did a pretty good job replicating the Lego style, besides the fact that it moves really quickly. Like, you got 3 steps on this one page, and you got a lot of stuff happening. Like, Lego steps are it's pretty much one at a time for the most part. This is a lot. You got a lot happening. And there are only about 8 pages of this. So it moves really quick and really fast. As you can tell. Only on the 3rd page right here. 3rd, 4th page right here. And already it's pretty much done. So yeah. But yeah. So another picture on the back of Spider-Man. And then obviously you can see that there are other options. You got regular Spider-Man. This is obviously Iron Spider-Man, if you know anything about Spider-Man. And Miles Morales Spider-Man. It's funny that the regular Spider-Man comes with Captain America's shield, so this means that these were released after Civil War, I would assume anyway, because he's got shield. But I originally tried ordering this figure, but the seller was all out. I was going to order it and include it in Tales of Home and have Thatch Mac voice him because he loves Spider-Man. Then I kind of wanted to get this one because, it looks like Spider-Man, but almost looked like, just plain black suit Spider-Man with red, and doesn't have to be Miles Morales. But Thatch suggested to get this one, and you know what? It's got the gold shins, it's got some red shoulder pads, it's got some nice recolors. We'll get into that soon. And you can see that it's got a function, too, which is it's got a uniter torso, and it's got a waist swivel, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, so that's the instructions. Pretty simple, pretty plain, really, really short, in fact. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. So yeah, let's get straight into the actual figure itself. So, because most people could literally build this exact same figure, minus certain colored pieces and, of course, the head. I'm just gonna go into some sort of the detail bits. So, the legs are pretty basic, pretty simple. You've got just a foot, a longer CCBS bone piece, a gold Star Wars shin, which is quite fantastic. One of the 2 pinhole gray CCBS shell bone pieces, a red 6-long shell. But yeah, that's really it. The legs are super simple. But yeah. So for the torso, you've got a Star Wars chest plate with some printing on it. And then down here you've got a uniter torso, which is quite interesting. Which it's got an interesting thing I've never really thought about before, which is just doing this, because it's not exactly a legal connection because it's not fully on there, but it works. So there's that. It's got an interesting design to attach the spike bits. The arms are basic as well, very, very simple. This is another interesting recolor down here. Besides, some of these shells are really tight. Besides the shoulder pad, which is a nice recolor, I mean, obviously we've seen this in Baze Malbus. You know, it's not new, but it's nice to get two because Baze only comes with one. This is actually, I'm pretty sure, new. This is a gray bone, and whereas previously, I think the only standard color that they've ever been released in is black. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've never personally seen a gray one before, so that's fascinating. But yeah. So then here is the crazy part, and let me just put this back together, and we'll get the camera raised up real quick. So here's Spider-Man's head, and I'll give you guys a close look at this. Let's get this focused. And so here's his head. He's got printing for his eyes and all that. And then I'll give you a good look at the chest printing too. It's quite nice, honestly. It's not bad at all. It's got some scratches here and there, and it's not perfect. And it's, you know, it's obviously it's just gold. It's a little basic, but here's the crazy part. Watch this. Okay. He's got another function which isn't advertised anywhere, but look at that. Isn't that frickin' intimidating? So this is a G2 mask. This is a G2 Spider-Man mask. That's awesome. But yeah, so that's the figure. He also comes with two of these silver tube pieces, which are supposed to represent webs. They could have come in white. I think that would have been better, but oh well. But yeah, so let's move on to comparisons. So in terms of comparison with bone pieces, on the left you have the official Lego pieces, on the right you have the knockoff ones, and same over here. So really, I'd say the company that made these knockoffs did a really outstanding job replicating the CCBS bones. You know, official Lego ones are a bit shinier, I think, for the most part. Some of them. This one, not so much, but you can definitely tell in, like, the subtle things. And obviously, you know, there's not any of the markings or anything like that. Like, look at that. That's not there. Down there. The mold mark. But, you know, certain things are there, certain things aren't there. It's very fascinating, though, you know? But yeah, with the gray bones, there's a slight difference in color. These ones seem to be, the knockoff ones seem to be a bit more bluish, whereas these ones almost have a hint of yellowish to them. But otherwise, it's interesting. But yeah. Obviously these ones aren't as good of a comparison because, you know, they're different colors. But you can kind of get an idea for it. And then these ones, the small ones. Which ones? Which? Okay. So here you go. Smaller bone pieces compared. Pretty, I will say, very, very good job replicating these bone pieces. And the quality doesn't feel, you know, really bad. It doesn't feel bad at all, you know. And they're perfectly compatible, you know. Pop that in there. Get it to focus. Pop that in there. Pop that in there. You know, they're perfectly compatible, which is great. But yeah. And next. So, here we have same Lego on the left, knockoffs on the right, and these are the red armor shells. So I took these ones off of Kasai, I took these ones off of Spider-Man. So here are the 5 longs. Yeah, I get it to focus. And there's a slight difference in color. Not much. Not certainly noticeable to the naked eye, just like, you know, on a glance. But, it's very interesting, you know, how well they're replicated. Obviously, you know, things like the 5 and, you know, the dots over here aren't important. And, you know, obviously a company doesn't need to worry about that when they're just making it. And the shape of the pinholes isn't quite the same, stuff like that. But this is all, you know, little detail stuff that really is irrelevant in the bigger picture. Just what matters is, you know, like, the piece works, and the piece, you know, does its job, and stuff like that. This one does have the holes, but it doesn't have the 6. So there's that. But yeah, the sockets aren't very different. They aren't even different at all, really. They're very, very much the same. But yeah, perfectly interchangeable, 100%. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So next off, we got the Star Wars shoulder pieces. I don't own Baze Malbus, so I cannot compare to Baze's red shoulder plate, but I can compare to Kasai's silver. Shoot. So obviously the differences here are minimal, you know, pretty much everything. Get it to focus. Pretty much everything is it's pretty spot on. I think the only real thing is there's these ridges, that these indented ridges on the Star Wars one, and then obviously there's the legal bits. But otherwise, really, it's quite fantastic. You know, and it's got a nice shine to it. You know, it looks really good, I think. And it fits in really well, you know, I think it works really well. Last thing's always time comparing for parts-wise. So the axles, they don't have the nicks in them for a nail to help pull them out, which is fine. Lego used to have the same thing way back in the day. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal. For the fist pieces, if you focus, it's actually, so the official Lego fist, which is right here, is much crisper and much cleaner, and the knockoff one is kind of almost translucent, you know, has a translucency to it, so the shadows aren't as dark. But it's not bad at all, honestly. It's, you know, it's pretty good. But yeah, very good. Very nice. You know, definitely interchangeable. You could probably use these together if you don't have, say, a pair. But since Spider-Man does come with a pair of red fists, you know, I don't see why, if you only have one stock red fist, Lego red fist, then you wouldn't need to use that one. Just use these two together. Alright, and the last comparison parts-wise is the headpiece, which the knockoff version is a lighter silver than the actual Bionicle version. The eyes are softer, if you can tell. They're not quite as pointy. And the features of the face are softer. So almost it is like a different face, you know? Like, you've got someone with a different, like, facial shape compared to the traditional Bionicle head. So it almost looks like a younger head, you know, in the G2 terms. You know, it looks like it belongs to a younger character, which is fascinating, and it's really cool, actually. I like that a lot, because G2 never gave us any different, you know, variations to the headpiece, even though it was established that there were different faces underneath the mask. You know, the Skull villains had, like, fangs, and Gali had softer features than the rest of the Toa. So this would make good for a more accurate Gali, or maybe a younger villager character. It's really good. I like it a lot. There are other differences, more subtle ones, some shaping differences, stuff like that. But and then the V shape in the head and the circle mold mark are not present, so it's kind of empty in that aspect. But it's not a big deal at all. Also, the hole for the brain stock is much bigger on this one, so that's interesting. But yes, so there's that, and then this is the best part, easily, hands down. This is a trans dark red brain stock. And that's awesome. So here's the traditional trans orange that we got for evil characters from Lego. And this is dark red. This is just amazing. This is beautiful. I love this piece, like seriously. I cannot gush about how amazing this piece is. And it's so nice to get an extra G2 iStock color, because G2 only gave us 3. You know, we got lime green, we got blue, and we got orange. But now we got red. And that's crazy. Now we just need like purple and like, you know, trans apple green and, you know, dark blue. That would be crazy. But yeah, that's so cool. You know, I think it's crazy that this exists. And I had no idea. You know, the pictures on the website didn't show the brain stock at all. But yeah, that's awesome. I love that. But yeah, so let's get Spider-Man back together and put him in some size comparisons. Here's Spider-Man next to Nilku. Here's Spider-Man next to Chase. Here's Spider-Man next to Kasai. And here's Spider-Man next to my work-in-progress Chameleon. So, what do I think of this set? I like it a lot. I think it's really cool. It comes with some nice recolors, especially those Star Wars shins. Those are fantastic. The mask is actually really interesting and makes for a very cool just option for, you know, G2 heads. The variant in the sculpting in the G2 head is cool. The best part is definitely the shins and the trans red brain stock. That is the greatest thing I've ever seen in a long time, especially from a bootleg. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope this was informational, you know, informal for you. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully, with the next knockoff review. Like I said, link to the page where you can buy this in the description and pinned in the comments. I'm Bionic Kasai, and I will see you guys next time.